I'm speaking to you right now at 180 words per minute. So I would need, in general, something around 1,400 hours to talk about 1 minute of a trailer. So that's a huge save of time when I can just show you the trailer. So please enjoy.
It's like, it's definitely one of the best zombie games I've ever played. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. So yes, that was the trailer from the Linux version of the game, because we've released the game on the first day for 4 platforms. It was Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Linux PC. And that was the trailer scene from the Linux division from that perspective. Okay, so the agenda for this talk is as follows. So first, I'll talk you a little bit about myself and my background in game development. And then we'll go through different kind of funny statistics throughout the game. And behind those statistics, I'll just give you some brief information about the technology aspects of the game. So I'm technology producer, and the role of technology producer is to do pretty much everything within the company. So the typical day in my office looks something like this. I'm responsible for developing technology together with my team, with the core engine team, with tools team, with technical art team, but also advising business development and members to the board about different technology decisions made during the development process. I'm also product owner of different kind of 15 or 20 smaller projects within the game development, and they are strictly related to technology aspects like new audio system, new rendering system, new tool set, and so on. We'll go through that in a minute. My motto is the impossible is worth doing, and it's very closely to what I'm doing at the company in a game dev, so I really enjoy my work. Okay, before we start talking about technology, I'd like to show you the 3 features of the game, the 3 major features of the game, and then we'll go through technology behind it. So the first one is the melee fighting. So we can fight zombies from a very close distance. There are different variety of weapons that you can use. You can craft the weapons. You can make them better. The second feature is that you don't have to use the first feature, so the natural movement, the parkour style. So you don't have to fight zombies. You can just jump over them. You can avoid zombies, and you don't have to fight in any situation. The first strong feature is day-night cycle. So there are different gameplay during the day and during the night. During the day, it's easier. Zombies are stunned. You can walk around them. You can fight them much more easy. During the night, you don't want to fight. There are special types of zombies, and you really would like to avoid them. As you can see, the world is pretty complex in Dying Light. And we've counted that there are something like 500 case objects per square kilometer. How we build that? It's very difficult to place every individual objects on the scene when the amount of objects is such a high. So we use the term as hierarchical selection. Hierarchical selection is a group of objects which can be randomized and give you different output at the end. So for example, imagine a table and the different objects on the table. You can place a glass, a bottle of wine, and a pen, but you can also put them in a different order, or you can just select that at this point in space, you can choose or randomly select different types of objects. Then if you place a table within a hotel room, you have the same situation. So you can have in one place in the hotel room, you can have a table, you can have a lamp, you can have a bed. So if you do that approach and you build the hierarchical selection in that way, you can create or spawn hundreds of hotel rooms, and you can end up with different hotel rooms, and each of the hotel room may vary from the others. Of course, it's hierarchical, so we can build different hotels in that, or cities with different places, different buildings, and that is the way of building big scalable worlds. Similar approach we used to create characters within the game. So you can replace different body parts, like different arms, different torsos, different heads, different textures, different skins, and at the end we had something like 35 different geometry models and something like 150 different skins, so different textures, and we've ended up with 30,500 different character models within the game. So it's almost impossible to find two the same characters which looks totally the same. The world are complex behind Dying Light, so we're ending up with rendering 20,000 objects per frame, and it's quite a big number. We are pretty proud of it because, for example, AMD recommendations are up to 5Ks per frame. So we are 4 times better than it's recommended by AMD. In terms of lighting, we have fully dynamic lighting, and based on 4 cascaded shadow maps from the sun or from the moon. We have also spotlights, omni lights, volumetric lights, ambi boxes. Ambient boxes is something like negative lights, so we can make some places darker by placing negative lights on the scene. We have also direct lighting, so global illumination system, based on the ENV probes that are placed manually on the map, or semi-manually, because you can place ENV probes also within the hierarchical selections, so they're propagated along the map. And for example, on the Old Town map, which is part of the Haran city, it's a big part of the Dying Light game, we have something like 3,000 ENV probes. The interesting thing is that we need to calculate different ENV probes. So the ENV probe is something like the environmental light. We need to calculate it for different weather and time of the day conditions. We call the unit time weather. So we can just have different time of the day zones and different weathers, and we need to calculate the lighting for this specific unit. And it lasts something like several to up to 20 hours to calculate lighting for Dying Light world. So it's quite a long time. Our script for building code, building data, testing and putting the game on Steam or internal torrent is written in Python. We found out that it's a very good programming language for building scripts. And it has something like 5,000 lines of code, so not too much. And Baker script baked over 3,000 builds since the beginning of the production, so for 3 years. So on the average, we have something like 3 to 4 builds every day. So it's quite a nice statistic. During the builds, we're also baking our toolset. Toolset is the world editor, it's the mesh converters, audio converters, and so on. So all the tools are also being baked every day, and even much more frequent than the game builds. As I've mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we've released the game on 4 platforms: Xbox One, PS4, Windows, and Linux on PC. And after 2 years of development, we've decided not to go for old gen, because we were something in the middle of not very good performance on the old gen and not very good quality on the next gen. So we decided to abandon old gen consoles and to focus on bringing high quality content on the next gen and on high-end PCs. And the PC build needs 2.5 hours to be baked by our baking scripts. There is a similar time for console builds. Console builds took a little bit longer, something like 3 to 4 hours. In terms of code, the whole code is written in C, C++, even the game script code, because we believe that it's the better performance, and also the game code is written in C++. We have approximately 6 million lines of code for both engine and the game. The code compilation lasts 5 minutes with the Incredible tool. Incredible is a tool that allows you to spread compilation along different workstations on a company. So if we were supposed to build a code on one machine, it would take an hour and a half. Using Incredible, we can spread the compilation time across different machines, like something like up to 50 even, and the compilation time is 5 minutes. Interesting part is that compilation temporary file size are 3.5 gigabytes with Incredible. Without Incredible, it's 35 gigabytes, so it's 10 times larger. So having a 120 SSD drive might be not enough for working even with one project. In terms of physics system, we have our own implementation of Open Dynamic Engine physics, which is quite old, but we still developed it for our needs. And there are different statistics for using our physics system within the game. For example, maximum speed for a zombie is 54 kilometers per hour. It's probably for a volatile during the night. And the maximum speed for a dead zombie is 288 kilometers per hour. For example, if there is an explosion, the zombie can reach such amount of speed. For finding different paths that AI can follow, like for example, zombie chasing the player, we need to calculate something which is called navigation mesh. And for example, for Slums map, navigation mesh contains almost 200,000 polygons, and it's being calculated within 40 seconds, and the calculation is being spread along 56 workstations. So again, if we have only one workstation to calculate the navigation mesh for our map, and the map is constantly changing, like several times per day, we would need something like 40 to 50 minutes to calculate the nav mesh. And still, we can use the tool from Sony PS3 SDK, for example, or PS4 SDK, which is called SNDBS, which allows us to spread the compilation time along different workstations. That's why we need only 40 seconds to update the navigation mesh. In terms of physics, the simplest algorithm for clothes is the woman breast, because it needs only 2 bones placed in a special locations. So it was the first physics algorithm and the first physics clothes system implemented within the technology for Dying Light. In terms of middlewares, because we have our own technology and we are developing constantly, we're trying not to use many middlewares around the market, because we believe that if we can develop our algorithms and tools by ourselves, it will suit our need the best. So we have used only 2 middlewares. One is for audio, and this is the F-mode system, which is cross-platform and helped us a lot during the development process. And the second is Bing 2 for video decoding. So these only are 2 middlewares we used during the production of the game. After releasing Dying Light, we have decided to release our development tools as well. So we took 2 months to make the tools suitable for users, and we've released the tools to allow users to create their own maps, their own content to the game. And I have a small video showing that.
Hey guys, so the Dying Light developer tools went live recently and we can already see you getting super creative. What you've got now though is just the beginning of the tools. We're working around the clock to expand the editor, and rest assured we've got a lot of amazing features coming your way. So take a quick look at what we've got coming in the near future. So as you can see, our editor is constantly expanding, and we plan to keep you supplied with regular updates. So whether you design original content on your own or you use content created by others, the developer tools is a great way to experience Dying Light in a completely new way.
Okay, so as you could see, you can download our toolset and see how the developer's tools looks like, and you can also create your own map, your own content to the game. You can play it. We have released the developer tools a month ago, and you could see some information about the updates, and some of them are already available. So last Friday, we have released, for example, terrain editing tool, so it's available for you right now. And some statistics about that. We have released developer tools with our example map, which has been visited over 27,000 times, which is pretty impressive. And right now, there are 113 maps created by different users, and they have been downloaded over 60K times, which is also quite impressive. We're still adding new features to our development tools, and we're expecting more and more new maps. And that's pretty much everything. The last stats from the last days is that we have reached 4.5 million unique users of Dying Light game. It's something around 100 days from the release date. So we're pretty much excited about that, and the number is still counting, so we're expecting more and more. That's why we're trying to develop different content updates and so on for Dying Light still, and we're hoping for more. So thanks very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm here for you, so we have some time probably.
Any questions?
I've got a question about building script, and you said that it's written in Python, and is it sconce or WAF?
So the last sentence, could you
Is
repeat?
it on a already, is it your script or someone others,
Okay.
like WAF or sconce?
Okay. So the question is about the building script. Did we buy the script or download it, or did we write the script by ourselves, right? Okay, so we wrote the script by ourselves from scratch. So the earlier version of the script was written in command line batch file, and it became too complicated to develop in that way. So we've decided to go for scripting language, and Python, we found out that it's the best choice. So for 2 or 3 years, we're developing our building scripts and building machine, which can also spread some tasks around different workstations, around different builders in Python. So it's totally our tech, yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Had you planned to release the developer tools before the game, before the release, or has that happened after the release?
Okay. So
Like, was releasing developing tools your plan all along?
okay. So the question is when we have decided to
Yeah.
release the development tools,
Exactly.
before release Dying Light or after?
Yes.
So this is a tricky question because we've released our development tools earlier with our Bound in Blood game. There was something like Call of Juarez modding tools. Then we decided to go for Techland Academy courses, and we also released some parts of our editor, World Editor, and our engine. So we've always thinking about that. So the idea for releasing developer tools is, let's say, active like for 5 or 6 years. So we were thinking about that. We were talking about that, but at the end of the Dying Light production, we're focused on closing the build for different platforms. So we decided to release development tools after that. So it was, it was our decision not make just like that, but we thought about it earlier. So we wanted to prepare developer tools for users, and it needed some time.
Yeah.
And we just used that time to finish the game and then go for developer tools.
Okay, thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
You are currently using Incredibuild to distribute the compilation process. Have you ever considered using a fast build?
Okay. So the question is, have we considered different tools for building the code on Linux, like the fast build?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we considered that, but still we didn't have time to check everything. So right now we're just using very simple solutions to reduce the build time, but fast build is on top of our list to check it and to use it for both code and data baking. It's still a research in front of us. So yes, we know about the fast build.
You said that using Incredibuild, you got compilation time down to 5 minutes.
Yes.
Am I correct? How long was the linking?
The linking.
Yeah, did you include linking in that?
Yeah. So the question is that we use Incredibuild for compilation time, but how about the linking time, which is quite long? Yes, so we have some issues with linking time, especially for consoles, when you need one executable file at the end.
Yeah.
On the PC version, it's quite easier because you can use different dynamic libraries, and you can make the linking a lot faster. And that was the key point and very important for us because most of the developers are working on PCs, right? So the tools that are being built for PCs. And yeah, we are still struggling with the long compilation time issue, especially for consoles.
Yeah.
But we've moved the compilation time for console builds during the night. So each midnight, the whole farm is starting baking builds. And when we come back to the work the next day, early morning, we have the build. So we have them. But yes, of course, the developers, the programmers need to link. If they need to just check some features during the day, they need to struggle with long compilation times.
Okay, so you just use dynamic libraries to reduce the linking?
Yes, on PCs, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
I have a question about a level editor or this development tool.
Yeah.
Does it use C++ as a scripting language in the same way as, for example, Unity uses C#? Or does it provide any kind of visual scripting tool like Kismet in UDK or Blueprints in Unreal 4, or both, or something different?
Okay, so the question is, do we have scripting language within the editor or visual editing for logic like the blocks similar to Unreal Engine. The question is no, we don't have it. So we have some parts of the logic exposed to be edited from the editor. For example, for quests, we are using XML, and you can still define some XML quest and XML quest logic by writing the code in XML. And for the rest of the logic, you need to just use specific classes written in C++ by gameplay programmers. So it is possible, but you need a programmer to write some part of the code, like the block, and this block may be used by level designers, level artists, quest designers to use it on a map and to really utilize this feature. So right now it requires also a programmer attention to script the game.
But the tool itself is independent, so the compile script edit is available within the tool.
Okay, so when it comes to game logic, like for example you're designing Quest, you need to use existing blocks or you need to ask game programmers to write some. By meaning independent, you can build a world independent, like putting different places and different objects using the selections, for example, right, the hierarchical selections. But if you're supposed to write or create some kind of a part of the game, you can use existing blocks or you need to provide ones by using the programmer's help. So that's how it works right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.